Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bellabraddock.
And I'm Amelia Bellabraddock. And today, coming off the high of the D23 Expo, we have much brand new news to bring to your home.
Yes, it was very, very interesting, and I have to say, you know, we learned as much from what was said as we did from what was not said.
We're reading between the lines over here on 1923 Main Street, but there is some very telling evidence that we're excited to share.
Yeah, and specifically when you compare it to last year. So we were sitting there going, great, we're going to get all these updates on the stuff they hinted at last year. But in fact, they told us way less than they did last year. And some of the stuff they hinted at has switched around. So that tells you that while things are happening, it is fluid. So let's break this down into two parts because there was a lot of cool announcements about things that are definitely happening. They have dates in the next, year or so. And then there are things that are happening, but they're not quite firm yet. And you can tell because we're going to talk about where they've moved things around even since last year. So most of this we're talking about is for Walt Disney World travel. I will say it looked at Disneyland. They did a lot of featuring on California Adventure in particular. And it looks like there's a new ride coming to the Adventures area.
Yes, they've definitely been hyping up what I like to call their secondary parks. Similarly with the Walt Disney Studios in Paris, they are doing a lot of work
that
over
looks
there.
Amazing.
That's exciting. I kind of consider that in the same vein as California Adventure, so I'm really excited to see what they do for both of those parks when it actually is
and
released.
Walt Disney Studios in Disneyland Paris was pretty much almost a letdown empty park. That was
it.
That was the Eisner era at its worst. He just shoved it in there quickly because he was under contract. He was the worst, in my opinion. I was not an Eisner lover. So anyway, they are finally fixing up that park with new lands, etc. It sounds like it's going to be great. Same cool stuff happening at Tokyo Disney. Brand new hotel with luxury rooms. I'm super excited about that.
And Frozen Land.
And Frozen Land's popping up in several places.
Yes, all of them.
Hong Kong, Paris, and more. So
all of them look fantastic, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But let's come closer to home in our Walt Disney World Resort, where we travel to most personally. And let's talk about what is definitely coming to Magic Kingdom Park and some dates. Some really exciting things here.
Yeah, so first off, I know you're very excited about this, but the Hatbox Ghost will be back at the Haunted Mansion this November, but not quite in the way that you might assume.
Yeah, so we now know for sure he's coming in November. And I had assumed, well, they're going to put him back to where he was, which was right before the graveyard, where currently there is a guy with a lantern and his dog. But no, as they put it,
in a very Amelia-approved way, he will appear wherever and whenever he pleases, which kind of implies to me that you may or may not see him on the ride, and you probably won't see him in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, they showed it like an animatronic. He looks like he's an animatronic, or it could be video. It's hard to tell.
Which sounds like to me, hey, want to ride the ride again and again until you see the Hatbox Ghost in the way you saw it on Instagram?
Yeah, in the way and location. So he is coming back in November, but he's going to be moving around the mansion. And they did put to rest, with the help of the Muppets, is he in fact the 1000th Happy Haunt? And the answer was...
no, he is not.
Why?
He was included in the original 999 Happy Haunts.
So they're already getting ahead of that one.
I'm the 1000th Happy Haunt. I've already given them my death certificate.
There you go. So great news if you're a fan of the Hatbox Ghost, as I am. He's coming back. Now, this was
also
a
exciting
shocker.
For you.
Shocker, too. I have to say, this was a shocker I'd personally not heard about.
Although, personally, after our last ride, I do feel that it is a welcome change. They are updating Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't just say update, significantly updating, if not overhauling the whole thing.
It was more of an overhaul, but they're not getting rid of it.
No.
And that's the important thing to remember.
And the way they started talking about it was like, oh no, but no. Country Bear Jamboree is not going anywhere. Now, it was updated a few years ago. It used to be like over half an hour long. Now it's like 18 minutes or something. So they did shorten it significantly. Now, they are completely overhauling it. New act, new songs, new show, new format, new everything. And what's it going to be like?
So this time, the new show will be modeled after the musical reviews of Nashville, which sounds pretty exciting because it will feature some of, your favorite country bears singing the more popular Disney hits in a variety of country music, including pop country, bluegrass, rockabilly, and more.
Yeah,
obviously.
so it's a whole new show. And
Well, they offered a sneak peek.
they offered a sneak peek of one of the songs.
Which was Bare Necessities.
Yeah, they showed the recording session for it, sort of a country version of it. It is sort of country-ish anyway.
I do think it fits.
So it is the Disneyfication of the ride. We talked about that in the past. But so they're going to be all Disney songs in various country and related formats. And it says it's a variety show style. So I'm curious to what that means. Will everybody be back? They sort of implied they would be. We'll see.
I kind of think they can add new songs while maybe keeping a song or two from the original. I hope that they will do that. But definitely, if you've watched it recently, some of the songs are just a tad outdated.
I'm going to miss Davy
Just a
Crockett,
tad.
though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
I
classic.
feel that maybe they should have that playing as you're walking in, as you're walking out, incorporated in some way. Don't get rid of it entirely is what I would hope for. But I am excited to see what they do.
And nearby, they mentioned Pirates of the Caribbean. And again, we said, oh, what are they doing? But it's not the ride overhaul. It's the ambiance of the area. And this one's interesting because they said they will be creating a new tavern near the ride for ambiance. Now, a couple of things here. Is this just Tortuga Tavern redone?
Yeah, you might not have thought of that at first, but a little bit more forethought will lead you to believe probably.
And they've never really used that space great. I'm sure they give out Halloween candy there and Christmas goodies during the Christmas party, but I don't know. It has never been good. And will they be serving alcohol there now? That was also
that's
unclear.
the big question.
They said a tavern for all ages.
Well, I mean,
So it's not a bar where you need ID to get into. That's clear. But will they have drinks? Because they've not had drinks in anything but a table service restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. So we'll see. More interesting, though, if you like the history of the Magic Kingdom.
yes, they are bringing back Barker Bird.
Now, old timers, it used to be when you walked into Pirates of the Caribbean, right out front, there was this little animatronic bird, sort of like one of the tiki birds, talking at you. Like he was dressed as a pirate and he was, yelling things at guests. They're bringing him back for the new tavern, which they did not give a name for.
Yes, well, they probably don't know or are not ready to share yet.
So lots of stuff coming to Magic Kingdom. And then we'll talk about future in a bit. Let's jump over to Epcot.
Because it's not just Magic Kingdom getting some pretty major overhauls.
Yeah. So now, what's coming to Epcot?
Yeah, well, first off, we know that Moana's Journey of Water has been underway for a little while, which is opening on October 16th.
Yep, the date was made official.
And this will include a new location for a Moana meet and greet. So if your little ones love Moana and are really looking to meet her, this will be a great spot. So be sure to add that to your bucket list.
Yeah, she's been sort of floating around Walt Disney World, and now she will have a permanent home.
Yes, and we now know that all of World Celebration will be open in December. And yes, the walls are finally coming down.
Now we're there mid-December, so we're hoping it's all done by then. They did not give a date. They just said December. And so hopefully by the mid-December trip that we have planned, it will be all good. And one that I care least about because I just don't care about these at Epcot for some reason. I never have historically.
You care about the walls.
Yeah, I care about the walls more than this, which is World Showcase Lagoon is getting a new nighttime show entitled
Luminous, the Symphony of Us.
Because the word ends in us.
Wow.
Anyway.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Did not even register that.
They sort of showed that in their presentation. But anyway, it is debuting also in December.
I imagine that it will coincide with World Celebration, but maybe I'm wrong. That's just my personal theory.
Well, this is December 5th, so they gave a date for this one, so we'll see.
Maybe I just want the walls to be down by the time we're there. Because you'll be very frustrated if they're not. And in possibly the biggest Epcot news they announced, at least in my opinion, Test Track will be undergoing a complete overhaul. Still with Chevrolet, so don't get it twisted. But it looks, at least from the images they've shared, pretty different. So they have not given a date for when it will close or how long it will be undergoing refurbishments, but it does seem that it is time for a refresh, so we're excited to see what Test Track will promise. Disney has said that they will include the best elements from the original version, but they will be adding updates to the point of Future World for Vehicle, which makes sense because it's getting to be, Vintage World over at Test Track.
I like how they specifically said elements of the original old school Test Track, so I don't know what that means. Maybe you won't design your vehicle anymore and all that stuff. I don't know We'll see, but that was a bit of a shocker for me.
Yeah.
Again, I hadn't heard about that before.
I love Test Track, but calling it Future World is a bit of a stretch at this point.
The thing about Test Track is they always just do the inside, but you still always end up in going on a circle fast. So will they change any of that? Will they cover the whole circle area? I don't know. There's lots of things they could do. Will they put Scream domes over it like they did to California Screamin' when they changed it? I don't know. We'll see. But
Who
that is
knows?
huge news. But no matter what, Test Track is going to be closed for a long time whenever they start this. Again, no dates
I'm
listed.
glad I just went on it then, is my
And
takeaway.
finally, they teased new information about the future of Walt Disney World parks, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom and such. But in some cases,
We know less than we knew last year.
and we know some things are different than they said last year.
Yes, so they already seem to be going back on their word a little bit. What they said originally was that beyond Big Thunder Mountain, as they called it, there would be a Villains area, an Encanto area. It seems to me that they have moved the Encanto area from Magic Kingdom to Animal Kingdom, which I would say is slightly more fitting.
Yeah, so they didn't mention Villains or Cars Land at all, specifically. So Cars sort of just disappeared. Or was it Cars? I can't even remember. I don't think it was Cars. It was Encanto and something else. I thought it was Coco, actually, not Cars.
Oh, it was Coco.
Yeah. But anyway,
It was in fact Coco.
they didn't
Whatever. I want to
they
go on.
didn't mention Coco at all.
I knew it was Pixar with a C.
And they
I was
didn't
close.
they didn't mention Villains at all. So here's my guess. Beyond Big Thunder Mountain, they still called it that. I think it's just going to be a Villains Land, which is what I think it should be.
Personally, think that fits much better with Magic.
It still sounds, though, like they did say specifically they have significant size and scale behind Big Thunder Mountain, and there will be new attractions, new restaurants, new shows, and more, and they called it a new land. In the vein, they said, of Galaxy's Edge and things like that, and Toy Story Land, etc. So, I'm guessing just a Villains Land now, which I'm actually happy for. Now, as Amelia mentioned, Animal Kingdom Park is getting reimagined in many, many ways. And one of the main ways does have to do with Encanto. Do you think it belongs better at Animal Kingdom?
I had a really hard time with this because it doesn't seem to fit perfectly either way. But I can't get down with it being behind Big Thunder Mountain. So I would prefer it at Animal Kingdom.
And so here's how they're making it work, because you can make anything work. They are Dino Land, as we know, has been being dismantled, and we're all wondering what's going there. Well, now we know Dino Land is going to become a new tropical Americas theme, and what that means is the sort of lush areas of northern South America or southern
I
North
suppose
America.
that does fit.
Yeah, almost like
I would say.
Yeah, the Central America area is Dino Land, tropical Americas, and it's going to be Encanto themed. They did say.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that movie does take place over there. I'm looking forward to Antonio, his power is speaking to animals. So Disney, ride idea,
Yeah.
attraction idea. Please use that. If you don't, it is a major missed opportunity.
So it appears Encanto's moving from Magic Kingdom in last year's D23 to Animal Kingdom in this year's D23, but there's more coming to
I thought
Animal
it could fit
Kingdom.
in Epcot too, but Encanto's just all over the board at this point.
Yeah. Poor Encanto. It'll get a home. But
find
surprisingly, Indiana Jones coming to Animal Kingdom Park. That was strongly hinted.
Yeah, I kind of support this, to be honest. I feel it almost fits-ish.
And I would say, this is my guess, that it will be in Rafiki's Planet Watch, that you will take that train to an Indiana Jones-themed land.
Well, Indiana Jones in Disneyland is in what I would call the Animal Kingdom area of Disneyland
Yeah,
Park.
it's sort of Adventureland-y type. So
Yeah, so I think it works there. I think Animal Kingdom needs another big draw ride because it kind of only has two right now. So
yeah,
I
it's
would
a good way to put a coaster in.
I
They
would
don't have
love it if they drew crowds over that way.
It's tough to say for Encanto. There's not a ton of room in Dinoland, but if they go to Rafiki's Planet Watch, they can do something cool. And then finally, I have mixed feelings about this one. Inside the Tree of Life. If you liked It's Tough to Be a Bug, I would suggest you ride it now for one of your last times, because it is changing.
To a Zootopia-themed attraction.
Yeah, so
/ show.
It's Tough to Be a Bug will be gone. Zootopia is, there's Zootopia lands coming all around the world. We're not getting a Zootopia land, it appears, but we are getting... That's what some people thought was coming to Dino Land. That's what people thought.
That could have worked also.
Yeah, now we know it's tropical themed Encanto, sort of Columbia lush forest.
Well, I
But
think
Zootopia is coming to the Tree of Life.
I think they have a lot of opportunity with both. There are Zootopia land elsewhere in the world, but I think it could be a fun show. I just personally, I think we have to remember that it is more relevant for younger kids who may not have seen A Bug's Life because that came out before 2000, and I just think more kids will have seen Zootopia, and they're making Zootopia 2.
Yeah,
So Disney's capitalizing on, Zootopia 2 is coming? Come on, kids, let's go see the show related to the movie. Oh, now let's go see the movie? Ticket sales, cha-ching.
Yeah, that one I would think would be done faster than A Whole New Land, obviously. And then there was also news about Disney Cruise Line, so check our show notes and our blog posts at 1923mainstreet.com for more information about all this stuff. But lots happening imminently and mysteriously in the future.
Well, lots of things they could do. I mean, Encanto, for one, there's tons of ride potential. You could do almost like a Tower of Terror-esque thing where like you're moving around with the different doors. You could do literally anything.
Yeah, if they build up like that in that space.
If they build the Madrigal house.
I guess if you're taking away Restaurantosaurus and all that stuff, you do have quite a bit of space in Dino Land right now.
There's a
Does
lot
that
to
mean
do.
Dinosaur will go as well? If they get rid of Dinosaur...
I think they're ditching Dinosaur to make it Indiana Jones. And then...
Oh, they could be doing that too.
That's my theory. They're making Dinosaur and Indiana Jones because they're kind of a similar track.
They're kind of the same track, yeah. So Rafiki's Planet Watch would stay. We'll see. Yeah. This is all our speculation.
And then they're turning Dino Land into kind of the Encanto thing, which personally I miss. I don't know what it's actually called, but Stacey used to call it the spin cycle. I think they could do something like that within the Casita Madrigal is what I would love to see personally.
All right, so there you have it. Clear as mud from the D23 Destination.
Well, they were very cryptic the whole time.
Very cryptic. And who knows if they're not saying stuff because they don't want Ron DeSantis to think they're still spending money there. That was going through my mind as well as Josh Amaro was talking and saying less than he had said last year. So we'll see. But anyway, some new stuff is coming. It's coming soon. We have dates, so looking forward to that. December's going to be a big month. All right, there you have it. There's our update from this year's Destination D23. Thank you for listening. As always, follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. We'll see you again next week, and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.